Top 5 Best Adult Films of Marilyn Chambers. Behind the Green Door was the film that turned Marilyn Chambers into one of the biggest names of the porno chic era. Directed by the Mitchell brothers, the movie follows Gloria Saunders, a woman kidnapped and brought to a mysterious underground theater where masked spectators observe elaborate performances. The film became famous for its surreal atmosphere, artistic cinematography, and experimental style, making it far more ambitious than most adult productions of the early 1970s. Chambers barely speaks during the movie, relying instead on expression and screen presence. Her elegant appearance and calm performance helped create the dreamlike tone that made the film so memorable. The movie gained even more publicity because Chambers had previously appeared as the Ivory Snow Girl on detergent packaging, shocking mainstream audiences when her identity became widely known. The film became one of the defining titles of the era and helped push adult cinema into mainstream cultural conversation. Resurrection of Eve reunited Chambers with the Mitchell brothers in a more dramatic and story-focused production. The film follows Eve, a woman dealing with emotional instability and relationship problems with radio DJ Frank Paradise. After a violent confrontation leads to a tragic accident, Eve's life changes completely, setting the stage for a story about recovery, identity, and sexuality. Unlike Behind the Green Door, this film places more emphasis on narrative and character development. Chambers plays the older version of Eve after her recovery, bringing emotional vulnerability and intensity to the role. The movie explores jealousy, obsession, and personal transformation while capturing the atmosphere of early 1970s San Francisco. The film earned praise for attempting deeper storytelling than many productions of the time. Chambers' performance demonstrated that she could handle dramatic material and not simply rely on screen appeal alone. Although it was less commercially successful than her breakthrough film, it remains one of the strongest acting showcases of her career. By 1980, Chambers made a major comeback with Insatiable, one of the most successful adult films of its decade. She stars as Sandra Chase, a wealthy fashion model and heiress who appears to have everything except emotional fulfillment. Despite her glamorous lifestyle, Sandra struggles with loneliness and embarks on a series of romantic encounters in search of satisfaction. Directed by Stu Seagal, the film stood out for its polished cinematography, stylish locations, and higher production values. Chambers balanced glamour and vulnerability, giving Sandra more emotional depth than many similar characters of the era. The movie also included a playful reference to Chambers' past as the Ivory Snow model when a detergent box briefly appears on screen. The film became enormously popular, later inducted into the XRCO Hall of Fame in 1991, and is still considered one of the defining titles of classic adult cinema. Many fans regard it as Chambers' finest performance because of her charisma and strong screen presence. Reddit discussions decades later still frequently mention the film as one of the most iconic releases of the Golden Age. Up and Coming gave Chambers one of her most entertaining and unusual roles. She plays Cassie Harland, an ambitious country singer whose rising fame threatens the career of an older and unstable music star. The movie mixes backstage drama, romance, and rivalry within the world of country music. The film was designed partly to showcase Chambers' real-life interest in singing. Outside of acting, she performed with a country western band, and this movie allowed her musical talents to become part of the story. The result is a colorful production that feels different from her earlier dramatic roles. Unlike many films of its genre, Up and Coming places heavy focus on plot and character interaction. Chambers carries the movie with charm and confidence, portraying Cassie as both ambitious and sympathetic. Its music industry setting and melodramatic tone make it one of the most distinctive titles in her filmography and a favorite among longtime fans. Insatiable II brought Chambers back to her most famous role, Sandra Chase. The sequel continues Sandra's search for emotional and physical fulfillment while expanding on the glamorous tone established in the original film. The movie emphasizes luxury settings, polished visuals, and fantasy-driven storytelling. Chambers appears more confident and mature in the role, portraying Sandra with greater emotional control and sophistication. While sequels often struggle to match their originals, Insatiable II remained successful because of Chambers' continued star power and charisma. By the mid-1980s, Chambers had become one of the industry's most respected veterans, and the sequel reinforced her legendary status. Together, the two insatiable films remain among the most commercially successful and recognizable titles of her career. Their popularity also showed how strongly Chambers connected with audiences during the height of classic adult cinema.